We're about to dive into a story about secrets. Secrets so powerful they could potentially unravel the lives of some of the most influential people on the planet. Presidents, princes, billionaires, and at the very center of it all is one man, Jeffrey Epstein, and the infamous files he left behind. So, picture this. You have a man who holds enough blackmail material to topple governments and ruin entire dynasties. He gets arrested, the whole world is waiting for the truth to come out, and then, in one of the most secure federal jails in America, he's found dead. But his story, it didn't end there. In fact, that's where the real mystery truly begins. The official report came out almost immediately, suicide by hanging. But right away, that story started to fray at the edges. So the question that hangs over this entire thing, the one we're going to try and unravel right now, is this. Was it really suicide? Or was he silenced by the very people he held power over? To really get why these files are so important, we first have to understand the, let's say, suspicious end of the man who created them. So let's start with his death. Okay, so the timeline here is incredibly tight and just explosive. July 2019, he's arrested on these horrific sex trafficking charges. The entire world is watching. And then, barely a month later, on August 10th, he's gone. The official cause of death is suicide, but for a whole lot of people, that official story just made the mystery even deeper. Yeah, the official story started to fall apart almost immediately. The camera outside his cell? Oh, it just happened to malfunction. The guards who were on duty? Turns out they broke protocol. And the autopsy? It revealed injuries that some top experts said were pretty inconsistent with a typical hanging. So you gotta ask yourself, was this just a string of unbelievable coincidences? Or was it something far more deliberate? To understand why his death was so controversial, you have to understand how he got so much power in the first place. His story isn't your typical rags to riches tale. It's more like a masterclass on how to infiltrate the world of the ultra-powerful. Believe it or not, Epstein started out as a math teacher. His big break into the world of the elite came through a connection he made with a wealthy parent at the school. But the real game changer was his relationship with Leslie Wexner, the billionaire behind Victoria's Secret. Epstein didn't just manage Wexner's money. He basically took over his life, gaining total control. That gave him the ultimate vantage point to learn exactly what the super rich wanted, and more importantly, what they were afraid of. So Epstein basically operated with two different kinds of power. On one hand, you had his financial power. Managing billions of dollars, bought him the private jets, the mansions, it got him in the room. But his real currency, his true power, was informational. The secrets he collected didn't just open doors for him, they locked them from the inside, giving him absolute control. So let's go to the epicenter of his entire operation, a place that was sold as a luxury paradise, but was actually a very sophisticated trap, his private island. He bought this island, Little St. James, back in 1998. And on the surface, it was the ultimate exclusive getaway, 75 acres of pure luxury designed for the global elite. But underneath all the palm trees and the beautiful beaches, the island had a much, much darker purpose. This paradise was, in reality, a factory, designed to produce one thing: leverage. And the blueprint was simple, but terrifyingly effective. First, you lure them in with luxury. Then, you compromise them with illicit activities. Then you record absolutely everything. It was a simple four-step plan for total control. But Epstein wasn't doing this alone, not by a long shot. His key partner in crime was Ghislaine Maxwell. She was the manager of this entire dark network. Her main job was to go out and recruit vulnerable young women, often from normal backgrounds, by promising them incredible opportunities like modeling careers or education, and then luring them straight into Epstein's web. And all of this brings us right to the heart of the matter, the actual physical evidence of his operation, the legendary Epstein Files. So when the FBI finally raided his Manhattan mansion in 2019, they uncovered his ultimate insurance policy. We're talking a treasure trove of digital evidence. Hard drives, hundreds of CDs, and all kinds of storage devices, filled with thousands of hours of video footage and who knows how many photos. The names that have been implicated in these files and other documents, well, they span the entire spectrum of global power. You've got politicians, titans of industry, royalty from ancient families, and even world-renowned scientists. It seems like no sector was left untouched. The power of these files is so immense that it even seems to rattle the world's wealthiest people. I mean, Elon Musk himself once tweeted this exact question: "Where are the Epstein files?" before he mysteriously deleted it. Now, when someone like Musk is afraid to even ask the question out loud, you know the stakes are just astronomically high. So, who are we actually talking about? Well, court documents and flight logs have publicly mentioned several really high-profile names. Prince Andrew's connection, for instance, led to a huge public scandal and a legal battle. Bill Gates admitted that he met with Epstein for fundraising, a decision he later called a big mistake. And flight logs show that Donald Trump also traveled on Epstein's private jet. Okay, it is absolutely crucial to understand this, though. Being named in these documents does not automatically mean someone is guilty or was involved in anything criminal. Many of the people listed were business associates or maybe just acquaintances. A name on a list is a data point. It is not a verdict. So, where does that leave us today? Epstein is gone, but the files remain. The final question is whether the whole truth is ever actually going to be revealed. After years of public outcry and legal challenges, some of the documents have been unsealed. We've seen names, we've seen dates, we've seen flight logs, but what has been released is widely believed to be just the tip of the iceberg. The most damaging stuff is still under lock and key. Which leads us to the most pressing question of all. We know the FBI recovered thousands of photos and hundreds of hours of video. This isn't just about documents anymore. We're talking about visual proof. So why hasn't a single frame of it ever been released to the public? Well, the official reason we're given is privacy. Authorities argue that releasing this material would violate the privacy of people who might show up in the footage but haven't actually been accused of any crime. So it's this argument of protecting the potentially innocent versus the public's right to know just how far this network went. And so, here we are. The puppeteer is gone, but the strings he attached to the world's most powerful people, they still exist, locked away somewhere in government vaults. The final question isn't just if we'll ever see the full truth, it's whether the very systems of power are designed to allow a secret this big to ever come out at all.